Good evening, everybody. Sorry for the delay tonight. We've had a crazy day, so of course tonight I do want to say Colton, my editor, is out tonight. He will be back soon. So let's get into this right now. Of course, like I said, we have had some technical difficulties today also after coming home. So that's what has kept us and had to push it back about an hour. So we are happy to be bringing you tonight's coverage of the CFP Rankings Show. Of course, there's a lot that has gone on this week. It was rivalry week. It was incredible. And so, happy that we are here tonight to bring you this. So, getting into it, Georgia is number 1. Michigan moves up 3 spots to get to number 2. They were number 5 last weekend. Of course, played Ohio State, beat them at home, and so they break their streak against Ohio State. Alabama still sits at 3, Cincinnati at 4. Oklahoma State moves up 2 slots to get to number 5. Notre Dame sits at 6 again. Then Ohio State moves down 5 slots to number 7. Ole Miss is at number 8. Baylor at number 9. So, setting up the Big 12 championship game, Baylor gets a win, but ends up being moved, having Ole Miss jump them. So that's interesting. Oregon's at 10. Michigan State at 11. BYU at 12. Iowa at 13. Oklahoma's now 14. Of course, there's a lot of speculation as to what will happen with Oklahoma now that Lincoln Riley surprisingly jumps ship and goes to USC. That's a huge hire for the Trojans. Pitt is at 15. Wake at 16. And then Utah at 17. NC State at 18. San Diego State at 19. Clemson at 20. Houston at 21. Arkansas at 22. Kentucky at 23, Louisiana at 24, and Texas A&M at 25. So that is your top 25. So tonight I do want to go into a little bit. So championship week is coming. So college football wraparound will be live Friday night instead of Saturday because we've got a busy schedule coming up, and so we will not be able to come to you Saturday morning, but instead Friday night. So if you are here today watching this, Friday night, December the 3rd, that is when we're coming live. 7 o'clock, you will see us. So, I'll go ahead and put this in the chat. 7 p.m. Central Time, Friday, December 3rd. College football wrap around. So, there is, and I'll share it right here on screen. There you go. 7 p.m. Central Time, Friday, December 3rd, college football wraparound. We're coming to you live then. So, you won't miss it. There you are. So, there you go. So now, let's dive into this a little bit because, I'm really interested because, Oklahoma State now, let's just say they win the Big 12, this week. I think that this playoff has really made it for a huge conversation. And now I think that you've got a huge question as to, let's say Alabama does win the SEC title game against Georgia. You got 12-1 Georgia, 12-1 Michigan if they win the Big Ten, 12-1 Alabama if they win the SEC, and then 13-0 Cincinnati. And then you got 12-1 Oklahoma State. So, right now, in my opinion, I think these are the 5 teams right now that are really the clear shot to make it, if anybody's going to make it to the playoff. Notre Dame, in my opinion, and this has never happened before, but this is the first time you could really say, could Notre Dame being an independent school really hurt them for once? That answer, yes. It has hurt them this season. That loss against Cincinnati is going to bar them from the college football playoff. And the reason for it is because besides Cincinnati, tell me another team that's really that good. And you could say, oh, look at Wisconsin. Wisconsin didn't make it to their championship game. They're 8-4. Is that really the best win Notre Dame has? Is like an 8-4 team? I don't think that's good enough to really say, okay, let's put you in the playoff. Now, okay, Cincinnati, they've at least played teams that have a little better, they beat teams that have a better record. Notre Dame is 11-1 at number 6, and Cincinnati beat them. Not to mention, Cincinnati had to go to Notre Dame Stadium. That's not an easy place to play. They beat Notre Dame on Notre Dame's turf. So, I'm sold on Cincinnati. I think they should get in. They're the first G5 team that's going to get in. If Cincinnati takes care of business, which they probably will against a Houston team who, Houston's a good team, don't get me wrong. But I don't think Cincinnati is going to lose to Houston. So, I think Houston will lose, and Cincinnati's going to take care of business against them. So I think Cincinnati's in. Michigan, they should beat Iowa Saturday. Unless something really crazy happens, Michigan is going to be in the playoff because they're going to beat Iowa. So then it comes down to the SEC Championship and the Big 12 Championship. Oklahoma State, if the Big 12 wants a chance at it, here's your chance. Oklahoma State, you win, and then you don't exactly control your own destiny. I hate to say that. You're going to be 12-1 and you can't control your own destiny. Well, Notre Dame could feel the same way, but Notre Dame's kind of out at this point. What you're going to have happen, though, for Oklahoma State and Notre Dame to make it, you're going to have Michigan get beat to Iowa. Georgia's going to have to beat Alabama. And there you have, and Oklahoma State is going to have to take care of business. Notre Dame, they don't have to play again. So, here's the deal. Notre Dame, all you got to do is just sit at home and watch the games. You got to root for Georgia and you got to root for Iowa. Oklahoma State, you got to go take care of business against Baylor. Then, you got to hope that Georgia beats Bama, and Iowa, well, for Oklahoma State, they just got to hope that either Michigan or Alabama go down. That's all they got to hope for if you're Oklahoma State. Notre Dame needs all this crazy stuff to happen. And to make matters even harder for Notre Dame, who knows, they may even need Oklahoma State to lose to even have a chance at the playoff. They're 11-1. Don't get me wrong, they're not a bad team, Notre Dame. They're not getting in unless you have a bunch of parity come championship week. Now, here's the thing. For Cincinnati, I still think that they got to go out and put up a lot of points. I still think they're a good team. And if they win, I think they're in. But still, as a person who's watched how this happens, let's go back to the first playoff, TCU and Baylor. They're both right there looking like, okay, they have a chance to win it all. But what happens? Ohio State goes into a Big Ten championship game with a third, and get this, people, a third-string quarterback, and puts up a shutout, 59-0, of a Wisconsin team that was pretty good that year. So you know what happened? The committee looks at Ohio State. They see a 59-0 win. And at this time, Big 12, they don't have a conference championship game. So, what happens? Well, Ohio State jumps TCU and Baylor. And they get in, and they end up winning the national championship. Maybe one of the smartest moves they did, but still for TCU and Baylor. What could they have done if they had the chance at the college football playoff? So, for Cincinnati's sake, what happens if you win, but then Oklahoma State looks like they win more impressively than you do? Does Oklahoma State, even if Alabama beats Georgia, Michigan wins the Big Ten, Cincinnati will win the American, does Oklahoma State jump one of these teams? That's the big question here. And for Georgia, if you get blown out to Alabama, are you still in this? I mean, your only loss would be to an Alabama team who's ranked 3rd in the country right at the moment. So, there's a lot of stuff that can happen right now. I would not expect, at this point, I'll get into my predictions a little later in the show, but right now, I think the top 4 you've got, I have a feeling it's not going to be that way come Sunday. And, of course, also another thing you need to write down, Sunday, we are coming live at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. 1 p.m. Central Time here on Saber Broadcast Network on Sunday. And I'll put that in the chat once again. 1 p.m. Sunday. College football wrap around CFP Rankings Show. And I'll show that here on the stream. So there you go. That is when we will be going live. We'll be going live Sunday to announce who's in the college football playoff. Now, it's going to be a big day, folks. We have a lot to get to that day. And there's going to be a whole lot of bowl predictions. So, this is an incredible season. Lots of parity has happened. And you know what? To all my colleagues out there in the media, you got what you finally wanted. You wanted parity? You got it. You wanted other teams than the Alabamas, the Ohio States, the Clemsons to make it every year? Well, you know what? If Georgia wins Saturday, there you go. You got your parity. And you know what? Oklahoma State may get in there. You would have a college football playoff that you've never seen. Georgia would be, at that point, the only team to ever make an appearance in the college football playoff. The other 3 has never been to the college football playoff. This is the parity that the media wanted and they got. So you know what? To all my colleagues out there, be happy, okay? You got your parity. Go have fun with it. Now, something I want to look at though. What does happen? Let's say Michigan and Alabama lose. Oklahoma State loses. So then you have So you have Notre Dame who will be in. Who would be that 2-loss team that gets in the playoff right now? Because the highest ranked after Notre Dame, the highest ranked 11-1 team would be San Diego State at 19. And I'm telling you folks, they're not going to get in being 11-1. So, looking at the rankings, who would be the only 2-loss team to make the college football playoff? And you know what? I think it's probably going to come down to either Michigan or Alabama. Because right now they're at 2 and 3. So if they lose, Oklahoma State loses, and you have Notre Dame go in there, it would have to be either Michigan or Alabama with how they got them ranked right now. And you know what it looks like with the way that they've got the rankings right now, they would put Michigan ahead of Alabama. So that is what is crazy about this season, is that we could have our first G5 team get in there, and then we could have our first 2-loss team. And you know what? To all my media colleagues out there, you don't have to expand the playoff to get a 2-loss team in the playoff now. Because it's a possibility. Right at this moment, it's a possibility. So, if you are a person that wants parity, you got it. If you're a person that loves normalcy and just wants to keep seeing the same teams winning over and over, well, this isn't your year. Because Bama, Ohio State, Clemson, really, Alabama's the only one right now that has the shot. And you want to hear my opinion on it? I don't know if they can hang with Georgia, okay? Georgia's defense is incredible. Georgia's offense hasn't had to do much. We'll see what they have to do, though, against Bama's defense, which is better. Still not great, but better. So, right now, it's a complete reversal from last year because Georgia was the Alabama of last year. And this year, Alabama's playing the way they are, and Georgia is the Alabama of last year, who Georgia just looks like they're the top team, and it's everybody else after that, you know? So, that's where I see it right now. There's a lot to get into. I do want to take your questions right now. So, it is question time. So, I do want you to give me your questions coming up right now, because alright, do you think that Georgia will beat Alabama Saturday, and you want a score prediction? Well, Rad Rusty, I think Georgia will beat Alabama. I think it's going to happen. And if you want my score prediction, well, I haven't even thought about the score right at this moment. All I know is if Alabama plays the same way as they did Saturday against Auburn, Alabama is going to get their butts kicked real bad against Georgia. I mean, this isn't just the normal blowout. I think this is going to be bad. I think it's going to be so bad that Saban's not even going to know that this is actually a team he coached. That's how bad I think it's going to be. And so, I think what you're going to see right here, Georgia will do what Ohio State did in the first playoff, and that is win 59-0 in their conference championship game. Because I don't know if Bama's going to be able to score. So, Bama will lose 59-0 to Georgia. And I see comments, fake Bama fan. Well, you know what? Bring it on, because at this point, I don't know. But, Lincoln Riley, good, bad, ugly. Well, I'm going to be honest. I think he fell into the world of what coaches fall into. So, and what I mean about that is, when you see an opportunity to coach another big program, but this time, okay, also, you got to go back and look at, there's rumors about his contract, and you know what? His contract, that's incredible what USC's offering right now. I don't know. I forgot everything about it, but it is like so insane that this doesn't even seem like. Well, I mean, this just seems like bribery at this point. He had 2 houses in Norman, Oklahoma. USC bought him $500,000 over asking price. They bought him a house in LA. He has a private jet now because of USC. He's going to get paid a boatload of money. And and here's my thing. It's all to coach a football team. It's all to coach a bunch of guys go out there and have one guy throw a ball, have others run and catch a ball. Then you have other guys that are trying to chase the offensive players to knock them out. So, I think it's completely insane that these coaches get paid and get all these rewards just for standing on a sideline and calling plays and teaching people how to play a game. That's my thing. But either way, I think for Lincoln Riley's sake, I think he's a bit of a coward. And you want to know why? Because he was offered, I bet he was the top candidate for the LSU job, and I bet he turned it down flat. And you know why I think he's a coward? He ran away from the SEC, which everyone knows the SEC is the biggest conference in college football. If he wanted to be in the SEC, he would have stayed at Oklahoma or took the LSU job. So, I mean, I don't know. Good, bad, ugly. Kind of all of it. Corey says Georgia doesn't have a good quarterback. Have you watched Georgia play? I'm not exactly sure that you could say Stetson Bennett is like the worst quarterback in college football. I don't think you could say JT Daniels is the worst quarterback in college football. You're wrong. Georgia's got 2 good quarterbacks, okay? Stetson Bennett is going to be a quality backup quarterback in the NFL. JT Daniels, he's going to be there next year for Georgia. So, Corey also says, which one is better, Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion? Oh, goodness. None. I don't even listen to these people, and quite honestly, I hope I don't. SpongeBob behind you just moved. Really? You can move? I didn't know you can move. It's incredible. If you want a close-up, though, he's actually... See, it's for chocolate. So, days counting down to Christmas, I can have some chocolate. It starts, believe that would be, yeah, that would be tomorrow. Oh, I can get my chocolate tomorrow. Yay! All right. I think your cat bonked it or something. I don't think there's a cat right here. I don't think there was. I'll have to go back later and rewatch it. Okay. And then Colton says, is Georgia better than LSU 2019? This is a good question. Colton, thank you for this because this is a great question. And if I've got to answer that, I do think they're 2 different teams. If you go back and watch the way these teams played, Georgia is clearly a defensive-minded team. LSU that year was offense, offense, offense. So, LSU was stomp your foot on the gas and don't let up till the game's over. That was Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. They were incredible. And you could argue it was maybe one of the greatest college football seasons, greatest football teams of all time. Georgia, on the other hand, is more of a defensive team and score whatever you need to just to win. So, I think in contrast of looking at the teams, they're very different. But Georgia, in my opinion, is not better than LSU in 2019. I think you can't really replicate how good LSU was that year. I mean, they were incredible. Nobody was going to beat them. And the only ones that probably would have was either Alabama or Auburn that year. This year, nobody's going to beat Georgia. I mean, the only ones that could would be Alabama. So, I mean, if you want to go back to early in the year, Clemson. Alabama and Clemson were they're the only two that really stand a chance with Georgia. So, I don't think Georgia's better than LSU, but I will say they're two different teams, so I don't know how you could really judge them. Corey says, Will Anderson for Heisman. Yeah, he's about the best defensive player in college football right now. Yeah, I agree. Saban for president 2024. As good as he will be, I don't think he wants the job of president. I think dealing with football players is stressful enough for Saban. Plus, I don't think Saban could run our country. That would be, I don't know, be interesting though. Be interesting to see though. So, you got any more questions? Put them in the chat. We are getting closer to the 30-minute mark of our show today. I'm going to go on till I'll go on for about 12 more minutes to kind of give you a little bit more of my take on the playoff rankings. If you want my honest opinion about things, what you could do is, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, you can join, you can watch the streams live and ask me questions, and I can answer them, of course. So, okay. So, here is something you really need to know. Alright? So, Monday, January 10th, at 7 p.m. Central Time, here on Savor Broadcast Network, CFP National Championship live stream audio. It'd be radio like broadcast. So, what I just put in there is I and Rad Rusty have agreed that we are going to do a broadcast of the national championship game. It's going to be like a radio broadcast for you on January 10th, 7 o'clock. Now, college football wraparound that night would be at 5:30. And then, that would go on for 30 minutes. Or no, 45 minutes. It'd be a 45-minute show. It'd end at 6:15. From 6:15 to 7 o'clock, we have nothing. But then at 7 o'clock, you can watch the stream of us broadcasting the national championship. I will be doing play-by-play. Rad Rusty will be doing the analysis for the game. So, also, I believe that my editor Colton has agreed. Well, I'll have to talk to him. But, halftime analysis is planned at this moment, unless anything changes. Colton and Jack Naylor will be doing the halftime analysis. So that's what's coming up for the championship. So, I will be doing play-by-play. Brad Rusty will be doing color analyst. He's the color analyst. So this is going to be a great stream. Plus, I have always wanted to... I love broadcasting. Last year during the CFP National Championship, I just recorded it, me broadcasting it, just to be broadcasting it on my computer. And so, I don't have any kind of footage of that. So, for anyone who would like to see that, I don't have any. So, wait till January 10th. At January 10th, I will give you my best broadcasting. So, if that's something you would like to watch, all you have to do is join me. So, also, you need to check out Rad Rusty on YouTube. He's got a great channel, so check him out. And check Colton Naylor out on YouTube. He's great as well. So, that's a couple of shout outs for me. And of course, watch all you can here, because you know what? We are trying to bring you the best coverage that we can for you in the sporting world. So, we hope that you have enjoyed what you've seen. We hope that you continue to enjoy it. But, National Championship, January 10th, 7 o'clock, here on Savor Broadcast Network. And I hope this is fake news, but according to Corey Naylor, breaking news, Bill Belichick is the favorite to take the Notre Dame job. I only got one question for you. Why would Bill Belichick leave the Patriots for Notre Dame? That's stupid. That's just plain stupid, people. If you want stupidity, there you go. Brad Rusty says, thanks for the shout out. You're welcome, my man. Can't wait to do some national championship coverage with you, because you know what? It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to do it. Trust me. I love broadcasting, so this is going to be fun. So I guess that's it for now. Colton says thank you. Probably mean to say thank you, but he says thank you. So, you're welcome, Colton. You have done a great job editing the live streams, Colton. Thank you for that. So, for now, what I want to leave you with tonight regarding the playoff is, what if... Because, Bob Stoops is already going to take the interim job with Oklahoma until they find their replacement. Notre Dame, please tell me if Notre Dame's got an interim at this point. Last I knew they didn't. But here is my opinion. Could we see Lou Holtz take over as the interim head coach of Notre Dame? And then could we see Notre Dame and Oklahoma playing a New Year's Six Bowl? And if so, what a game for the ages. Lou Holtz, Bob Stoops. What a game. So, I got another question. Why did Lincoln Riley leave Oklahoma? And why did Brian Kelly leave Notre Dame? Why is the earth flat? What? You're saying that two coaches in a game of football can determine if the earth is flat or round? Are you not? You're nuts!
You don't get the joke.
I don't understand the joke completely. I don't understand this. Oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't understand this at all. The earth is round. Thank you. Whoever said this, I want to make sure you're reading the Bible, because the Bible clearly states that the earth is round. Okay? I don't understand this at all. I don't. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a good point to leave you on. Oh my gosh. Please tell me you don't really believe this. I don't understand the joke at all. Alright, folks. I'll be back Friday. See you then. Good night.